Hi, I'm AYUSHREE and today I'll be deliberating on e-way bill in GST design. E-way bill is generated by large business houses, manufacturers, traders in their day-to-day business activity. Hence, to have a conceptual clarity in the concept of e-way bill, let us discuss why was e-way bill introduced, when is it required, who requires e-way bill, how to generate it, what documents are required, and FAQs. Why was e-way bill introduced? The government of India was worried on the revenue collection as it was not as per their satisfaction post the GST implementation period. Hence, in the 25th Council meeting, the government of India came with anti-evasionary measures leading to introduction of e-way bill. When to generate an e-way bill? Any registered person who causes movement of goods of consignment value more than 50,000 shall, before the commencement of movement of goods, furnish information of the movement of goods in form GST EWB01 Part A stating the movement of goods. It shall contain the details of the value of invoice, the tax thereon, cess if any. The transaction in which we have to generate the e-way bill are sale, sales return, purchase, purchase return, import, export, job work. In West Bengal, the limit has been extended to 1 lakh in case of intra-state movement of goods. Now, who will generate e-way bill? The consignor, seller, the consignee, receiver, and the transporter of the goods. The consignor, where he is registered under GST regime, can generate e-way bill. The consignee can also generate e-way bill. The transporter, on being authorized by the consignor, can generate e-way bill. It is not necessary for the transporter to obtain registration under GST regime. If a transporter is not registered in the GST regime, he can still generate e-way bill by using his PAN and Aadhaar. In case of job work, either the in principal or the job worker can generate e-way bill. How to generate the e-way bill? Here we can see the website of generation of e-way bill. On the topmost left, on the topmost right, we can see a login tab where after feeding the user ID password, we can fill up the form of the e-way bill. It is divided in two parts, Part A and Part B. The Part A contains the detail of the supplier and the receiver of the goods. It also contains the detail of the invoice, that is the quantity of goods, HSN, the taxable value, and the tax thereon. The Part B contains the detail of transporter. After filling up the form, we can click on the submit button, and if all the requirements of the e-way bill is complete, the e-way bill shall be generated. Now let's see the validity of the e-way bill. In case of normal cargo, the validity of the e-way bill is 1 day for distance up to 100 kilometers. And for every additional part of 100 kilometers, the validity of the e-way bill shall get extended by 1 day. So if the distance is 230 kilometers, the validity of the e-way bill shall be 3 days. And in the case of over-dimensional cargo, the validity of the e-way bill is 1 day up to 20 kilometers and shall increase by 1 additional day for every additional 20 kilometers or part thereof. Now, what are the documents and devices to be carried by the person in charge of a conveyance? Invoice or the bill of supply or the delivery challan, and a copy of e-way bill or the e-way bill number, either physically or mapped to a radio frequency identification device embedded onto the conveyance. Now, due to the recent pandemic coronavirus, there has been an extension in the validity period of the e-way bill. The e-way bill validity, which expires within the period 20th March to 15th April, has been extended to 30th April 2020. Let us now discuss some of the questions asked by our clients in the recent past. First, do the transporter need to generate e-way bill for smaller consignment if the value of the goods carried in a single conveyance is more than 50,000, though the value of all or some of the individual consignment is below 50,000? The answer is yes. The transporter needs to generate e-way bill for consignment having value less than 50,000 if the value of goods carried in the single conveyance is more than 50,000. Another question raised by our client is, what if the consignee refuses the good? If the consignee refuses the good, the supplier shall direct the transporter to generate one more e-way bill indicating the supply as sales return, and the transporter will deliver the goods to the supplier. Next question, whether Part B is a must for e-way bill. This has been the most asked question by our clients. E-way bill is complete only when the Part B is entered. Otherwise, the printout of e-way bill would be invalid for the movement of goods. Filling up Part B of the e-way bill is a must for the movement of goods except within the same state movement by the consignor's place to the transporter's place if the distance is less than 50 kilometers. Can the consolidated e-way bill have the goods e-way bill which are going to be delivered before reaching the destination defined for TEWB? Yes, the consolidated e-way bill can have the goods or e-way bill which can be delivered to multiple locations before reaching the final destination. How to generate the e-way bill if the goods are moving in multiple vehicles simultaneously? When the goods are being transported in a semi-knockdown or a completely knockdown situation, the e-way bill shall be generated for each vehicle based on the delivery challan issued for that portion of the consignment as per the GST Rule 55, which provides as under. The supplier shall issue the complete invoice before the dispatch of the first consignment. The supplier shall issue delivery challan for each and the subsequent consignment and generate e-way bill by using SKD/CKD. Each consignment shall be accompanied by a copy of the corresponding delivery challan along with a copy of invoice. The original copy of invoice shall be sent in the last consignment. So the most frequently asked question is, what to do when our e-way bill site is blocked? For this, we have to understand why does our e-way bill site gets blocked. When the taxpayer does not file GST 3B returns for 2 consecutive tax periods, the e-way bill site is blocked. So once the return is filed in the GST portal, the blocking status is removed by the system the very next day. And if it is also not removed the next day, the taxpayer can visit the e-way bill portal and click on the update but unblock status from the GST common portal. If this again does not work, the taxpayer can reach out to the help desk and get the queries resolved. Well, this was all from my side in regard to e-way bill in GST regime. I hope all your queries with regard to GST e-way bill has been resolved. However, if any query is still pending, you can reach to me in my email ID mentioned below. Thank you and see you soon.